Hey guys, I'm Combat Craig, and today we're talking about sharing your status as a disabled veteran, what your rating is, to potentially future employers. Yes, there are some employers that are going to be required to know about this information. They're limited. By and large, most employers don't need to know what your VA disability rating is, what your status is. You're protected. We are disabled, right? Just kind of think of it like, and a lot of us have mental health issues or migraines or invisible wounds, basically, right? So you're not going to go in and ask somebody in a wheelchair why they're in a wheelchair and is the air on the left tire pumped up right. They don't ask anything because it's protected. I'm going to share you a story, and this is exactly why you shouldn't do that, and then what you can do if you potentially want to pursue legal action against the employer that didn't hire you. Before I get started, if you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my bootcamp at combatcraig.com. There's a link in the description. And also at my website, you can contact my med team if you need things like a diagnosis, symptoms, or a nexus to link all your disabilities together so you can file a winning VA claim. There's a link in my website for that as well. So here's basically what happened. This guy started a new job on Monday, met the supervisor, and he found out he was also a Marine. So great. You guys were both in the Corps together. What happens next happens a lot. And this is where the judgy stuff comes in. So after it's acknowledged that they're both in the Corps, he said, hey, you have a disability rating? And he said, yeah, I'm at 100% P&T. This is when that didn't need to be disclosed, by the way. And this is where the supervisor started being judgy about it. And he kind of basically looked at him and, like, oh, you don't look like 100% P&T. He didn't say that, but that's what he did. So few days like, oh, go home. I'll call you on Friday. There's a bunch of gravel work out in front. I don't know. So, he made up some lame excuse on why the veteran should come back. So Friday rolls around and he's wondering why he didn't get the call back. He said, yeah, come on back. We got some road work and all this kind of stuff. And he texted somebody that he knew that worked there. And that person was like, yeah, that guy didn't really like you. He didn't think you were really disabled. So in this particular situation, there are things you can do. They take time. But just generally speaking, this is another good example of, offering too much information about your VA disability rating and your status to somebody that's in a position to make a judgment, which is any human being on the face of this earth. Judging is going on, and it's just better to avoid it. Don't even talk about your VA disability rating. In this case, this is discrimination. It's discrimination. Who knows what the work or how big the workplace is or whatever. It's discrimination, and there are actions you can take, and here's one of them. You can contact the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC. You can do the EEOC, or you can do your state equivalent. The difference is going to be time. How much time is this going to take? Remember, we're over here trying to get a job. So, you want to factor that in. That's strategy part. Both veteran status and disability rating is protected. So remember that. You want to save everything like texts, emails, anything like that if you have it, in addition to your own statement, because you can be a witness to this, obviously. It's going to save you a lot of time if you actually do decide to pursue legal action. Get your phone records. If you had an interview and you talked to anybody at this work, that is a record of you communicating back and forth with the potential employer. So add those into the mix as well. Basically, you should lawyer up. EEOC has the backing of the feds, but a civilian lawyer can cost the company money. So this is a government agency that's huge, the EEOC route. They do work, but a good civil lawyer that knows how to apply pressure on disability discrimination cases will get you a result much faster. So here's the big takeaway on this. The EEOC is a government agency, but like the VA, they're a government agency. You know, they take their time, they're slothy and all that kind of stuff. If you get a good lawyer that knows how to deal with or specializes in disability discrimination cases, it's going to happen a lot faster. And the first place that lawyer is going to go is discovery. And discovery, if you don't know, is, it's been in the news. It's like all over the place. Basically, it's discovery. You have to open up all the books. And if this work has been doing this type of shady stuff, they have a lot of skeletons in their closet. So they're going to want to avoid discovery as much as possible. And, I'm not a lawyer. There's other tactics that they use. I understand the discovery one. So if you were discriminated against, this might be one way to go, or two ways to go: EEOC or a lawyer that specializes in discrimination cases. Make sure you have as much documentation as possible. The lawyer can still, make this work just with a conversation from you and the supervisor. But if you have a text message, use that. The lawyer's going to ask you for, the phone call records and all that kind of stuff. So this stuff does happen. It is avoidable. And, the veteran wasn't asked. He was applying for a job, and clearly this was younger versus older Marine. And once the older Marine was biased towards younger veterans. I see it on this channel constantly. So keep that in mind while you go get your next job. If you're 100% permanent total, you do not have any work restrictions. And that includes restrictions from potential future employers. And if they do discriminate against you, you have routes for that. Get back on the job hunt, though. That's what we're originally trying to do in the first place. See you in the next video.